grant. There's a 5% rebate up to $25,000 for local businesses looking to upgrade company assets. So the minimum investment for a business with 5 employees or less is $20,000. And if you have 6 or less, it's $50,000. You must be a member of Chamber or Edge to apply. You can find that application on our website. And if you got any questions, just reach out. This is just a way to support our current industries. We're still in discussions for the usage of the state's $15 million grant for electrical improvements. That probably got a little more secure now with today's announcement. And we'll work with OPPD primarily on a solution, but we are working on alternative solutions to potentially use that 15 million as well. I'm fortunate to announce that Vantech ceased operations on August 22nd. Vantech came to Falls City. They're a family-owned business. Recently, within the last 4 years, had sold out to a corporation out of Detroit. I think they're as high as many as maybe 30 employees. There was 13 at the time when they ceased operations. They were a supplier to Kawasaki, and they decided to make some changes. So we're working with my contact at Vantech to try to get that building that's there. It was a spec building built, I think, in the late 90s, early 2000s. And it instantly becomes a good asset that we can sell for a potential future development. Never hate to announce businesses leaving, but we'll try to find the positive in that. The Champions Crossing website has been created and lists available lots with prices. Electrical infrastructure is scheduled around Moorhead Court. That gives us 11 buildable lots right up there. With Citronic's investment, we're working with developers, to possibly develop the rest of that. I think last count, there was upwards of 30, it's like 28 or 30 potential lots, once we sell the lots in phase 1 to then move on to infrastructure for phase 2, and then finish that out and move on to the next housing development. Attended the Governor's Economic Development Summit in Kearney. We were invited to the special Nebraska Bioeconomy Kickoff event. This is where the governor announced the Nebraska Bioeconomy Initiative. We're working closely with Governor Pillen's consultant, Julie Bichelle, of Global Sustainability Developers, to identify biodevelopment projects for Richardson County. Obviously, we're now aware of one of those that's come to fruition. We launched a national Google Ads and LinkedIn marketing campaign to bring awareness to the development site and Richardson County. So we've allotted some dollars to get some eyeballs on what we have in Falls City. And then we also received, partnered with EcoStrat. There was a $75,000 grant from the USDA to basically study a BDO zone. So Falls City will be recognized as a bio development opportunity zone. This is kind of one of the foundations that was laid to help us get the Citronic deal done. There's a 74-page study that will be released that shows the availability of corn stover in the area. 600,000 bone dry tons of corn stover. A lot of the farmers around the area, practice no-till operations. And this is just a way to see if there's, can we create some value in something that's there for these operations. So there'll be a report, I think press release scheduled for next week. We got an A rating on that. It should help us further develop the bioeconomy initiative. We're building a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 2-car garage at 1612 Fulton. That's through the Rural Workforce Housing Fund program. Expected sell price is around $330,000. The goal there is just to sell it for what we build it, so we can go to the next one. Hopefully, we can build a house through this revolving, fund. One house for the next 10 years, and they keep doing it. If we sell it for less than what we build it, then that's just less money that's in that fund to kind of continue that mission. We're in discussions with the Center for Rural Affairs for a community solar program. They were awarded $62 million from the Solar for All grant. I believe that's funded by the EPA. So we're kind of looking on, city operational sites. So the water plant in Rulo, the wastewater facility, perhaps on top of the water tower. Where can we plug in some solar infrastructure to offset the utility ratepayers billing each month? The federal government's helping subsidize it, which makes it affordable. And this is all about trying to reduce the monthly bills for our utility customers. We're also working with the National Renewable Energy Lab This is a grant that provides $50,000 to kind of further this study. We're going to prepare a cost benefit analysis for what those those solar panels at these infrastructure sites might look like. So just trying to prepare for potential investment on the city side. Industrial park lots are available to entrepreneurs, business owners, development projects. Lots can be viewed on the EDGE website or under the site selectors tab. The city owns a few of those sites. EDGE owns a few of those sites. We're going to help manage them for the city. And so if there's any interest in any development, please reach out. Community Kids Center is now operated by Community Medical Center at 18th and Fulton. It's a big win to keep our only child care center open in the community. That was, the child care is another kind of foundation that helped, further discussions with Centronic. We submitted an economic development certified community application to the state office. Falls City was previously approved in 09, 14, and 19. We renew those every 5 years. We've got a strong application. We've conducted 15 business retention and expansion meetings with local businesses. It's designed to understand their needs and grow the relationship. We've attended a couple of legislative forums with the candidates. Encourage everyone to get out there and vote tomorrow. It's election day. Met with the UNL president, Dr. Gould, for a university update. We attended the Nebraska Chamber's Economic Development Summit in early September. And then on behalf of the Land Bank, unaffiliated with EDGE, but just letting you guys know that the website is live for that land bank. Properties are available at 1604 Morton, 1704 Morton, 820 McLean. Those are intended for redevelopment of housing units. And then we encourage those that are unable to meet, code requirements for dilapidated properties, reach out to the land bank. There might be some solutions to assist you with some of those things. So that's a quarterly report. I suppose, does anybody have any questions on, we'll have some community engagement sessions here over the next few weeks. I know there's probably going to be a lot of questions, about what is going on, what's this development, what's it going to mean. And so we're going to plan to bring the co-founders to Falls City, and we'll have a little community engagement session where people can ask questions and kind of better understand the project.
Thank you, Lucas. Any questions, Councilman?
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm not against growth for the town, but with all the farm grounds that's available in Richardson County, did you have to go residential?
Did we have to do what?
Did you have to go residential?
Residential with what?
Doug Weaver's farm,
Yeah, Doug.
my son's inheritance?
Yeah, so we've had some conversations with them. We had some
Yeah.
private engagements.
Yeah.
Nobody's being forced to do
No,
anything they don't
they're
want to do.
not. But they are the middle of a horseshoe. Everything is going to be built around them. You all think it's great to bring people in, and it is. But at whose cost? At what cost? Your home? Your home? Your home? Everything you've known for 40 years? I don't live there anymore, but these are my kids' memories. This is my son's inheritance. This is his job. This is not right. There's plenty of place. What about down by CDG where there is no housing?
Yeah, so these, there's value in that land because it exists by the railroad.
Yep, and so is CBG ground.
There's obviously value in it because we've got landowners that have a large swath of acreage that are willing to work with us on
Right,
this.
and his wife is on your edge board, is she not?
No.
Okay.
The owners of the land, they don't even live in Nebraska.
You may know,
She
Brian
is the
Poppy's
land
wife.
manager.
Oh, land manager? Yeah, I don't know anything about
You
that.
do, you do. Brian Poppy manages it and his wife is on the edge.
Yeah, they're not owners of the land though.
No, they're not.
We're
They're
buying it
not.
from
It's
landowners.
the same people that we bought our acreage from.
Right.
And he manages that land.
Yeah. So we're aware that there's a 16.4 acre island property there that's owned by Doug. There's an easement that's filed at the county courthouse.
It's like,
That-
we know all this.
Yeah.
We know all this. I'm asking
So
why
what
you
we
chose that ground.
so because of the rail infrastructure, because of the landowner's willingness to sell to us, because of an absolute game-changing investment for Falls City, largest investment in state
It's
history.
changing numbers. Look at my cripples.
Yeah, so I know
These are
there's
our property's not
I
yours,
know-
Lucas.
I know there's a lot of emotions here. I was hired to do a job,
Yeah,
and
and I'm not against that.
I just
I'm
can't
not.
apologize for trying to
Not
do the
this
best
area.
that I can do here. This has been a project that I inherited. These option
This
agreements.
is his inheritance also.
Yeah. So there's if somebody owns land somewhere, they don't have to sell.
No,
That's
they don't, but it's gonna be hell. You guys want to put a pit of crap right out Doug's west window, his west corner of his house?
yeah.
No,
So
that's not even fair. He's gonna be pushed out if he doesn't buy out.
I mean those are all options that are potentially available for Doug.
Yeah.
But nobody's going to take any land that
No,
they
they're
don't own.
not gonna be taken. But if they don't take the deal that you give them, they're going to be pushed out or they're going to live with the crap that you all bring in.
Yeah. So
Like housing, they were told, hey, where's everybody gonna live? Oh, we'll just put them right here and they could be neighbors next to you. Come on. No,
there.
40
Yes.
years ago, this wasn't what we sought after, wasn't what we planned.
Sure. I mean, I thought I was gonna, work at a family company for the rest of my life, but stuff happens and things change,
Not this.
and I had to make some tough
Not
decisions
this.
too. And that's,
Well-
decisions are tough sometimes.
No,
And
You're
the greater
wrong.
good.
you're wrong. It can go elsewhere. You can look elsewhere. It doesn't have to go in someone's property in their home.
Yeah. So the development could potentially be a neighbor to Doug's property there. We realize that.
No,
That's-
not potentially. It's already in the works. And it has been for over a year.
for 6 to 7 years, and really, if you go back 12 to 15 years, I
And
mean,
he probably should have been approached then, don't you think? The whole town is upset because it's been so secretive. When you went to the county board member last Wednesday and they were asking you questions, you told them what? That it was confidential. Why has it been kept confidential? There's so many questions, so many questions.
yeah. So to get these deals done, you gotta know the nature that you've got to keep it confidential.
Because what, you didn't want anybody else to find out so they could ruin your plans?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. That's absolutely true.
The project site has not been confidential, so what's out on Edge currently is that concept plan, which is not Centronics even plan. That was a concept pulled together to kind of show potentially how that could be developed. But that's been out there for quite some time now. The Centronic piece or the anchor tenant piece, that's those entities, hedging their own components with how they do that process of development. So that component was being withheld until now. The press release came out today, and that was publicized today. So that's why we can speak a little bit more freely than what was happening.
So you have a farmer who's going to have to retire because he's not gonna have farm ground. You have a boy that's gonna have to go get a job because he's not gonna have farm ground.
So I'd like to address that. Can I address that right now? So when we met with them in person, the owners of this are trying to come to Fall City the right way. It has been relayed that if a farming operation out there gets 400, 800 acres taken away, these guys are willing to go buy land so that farming operation can stay in. This is the Nebraska this Nebraska Bioeconomy Initiative is about supporting family farms. And when Governor Pillen met with these co-founders, one of the requirements was that they would be willing to do this for anyone that's displaced, anyone potentially in your family situation that's maybe getting what you might characterize as a wrong end of the deal. I mean, they came here and we've had these conversations in person that they're willing to work with them if they wish to continue farming, and that's very important to them.
Where
So
are
that
you
is-
going to find an additional 400 to 800 acres?
So we've got options on 1,017 acres.
Okay, but, so that's not all going to be used for this?
So the
Or are you-
initial.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
so the initial phase, the initial build out, they'd like to be north of 702 Trail Road.
Yes.
That's like, call it the 450 acres.
Okay.
I believe that they're willing to partner with us on executing the options for the entire development to build out the rest, the southern part of it for possibly, ancillary companies that could be, contribute to their operation. So, eventually 20 years from now, we could look back and that whole thing could potentially be developed.
But didn't you just say that if you're taking away like 400 to 800 acres, that, okay, repeat that part, please.
Yeah, so they're, if anybody's displaced,
Mhm.
the owners are willing to try to, find acreages
So
out
not
there.
where. There aren't 400 to 800 acres altogether.
Well, potentially buying them from willing landowners. So it's nothing's guaranteed, but they're willing to offer that as an
For
option.
sale in West of town right now.
Couple farms just sold not too long ago, just last week.
Thing is, we have an anchor tenant, a potential anchor tenant that they're willing to provide creative solutions or come in and work with the entities, work with the community, figure out how we can benefit the community. Their approach is that is what can this entity do for Falls City, not what can Falls City do for us to get us here. So they picked Falls City, said we have, the site, we have all this leadership in place, all this is set up to be able to build upon. They want to make it equitable as they can. There'll be those engagement sessions to continue that and make sure we can come up with solutions that are going to be viable for, the values within our community.
You're gonna have more meetings. You get this one, right?
Oh, yeah. There'll be a lot more done. I mean, it's a 4-year build out. We're gonna have to talk about building housing. There's gonna be a lot of trickle down effect from this.
What will they do with the electrical?
So, yeah, I mean, we're in OPBD service territory, so we're a public power state. So we're gonna engage with OPBD to, there's $15 million sitting at the state that we were able to lock in the spring of 22, and we're hoping to leverage that to get OPBD to finally build the infrastructure that we've needed down here.
Can you tell us about the water that's gonna be put back into the aquifer?
Yeah, so there's if you get one of these sheets here, there's a whole paragraph on the water. So it's ethanol, right? It's not petroleum based, and the wastewater is clean that comes through it. I mean, they're basically taking the carbon from the ethanol, and the water is the wastewater. It's clean water. It's of the earth. It's not petroleum based, and so that's there's no emitting foul odor smell. There's no environmental issues with this. It's really when you look at all the things in play, it's
What
I'll remember out
about
there.
the amount that's going back in?
The amount of what?
The amount of water that's going back in?
Yeah, I mean the whole world is 75%. We are water. If water didn't exist, that's life. I mean, water is the lifeblood of humanity. So there's going to be water, and it'll go back into the ecosystem.
148 gallons of water a minute?
Yeah, I think it's closer to 300.
It's 300, and we're gonna have a wastewater treatment facility there, taking care of the water, and purifying it through there.
I have so many questions.
Yeah, we'll
I
have
think
more.
those questions should be answered at a regular meeting.
Yeah, it's fine.
With lots
It's
more
fine.
people
I'm not,
there.
I just,
That's
okay,
easy.
I just want you to know, I appreciate growth. I just feel like there's somewhere else that y'all can go to grow.